Srimad Bhagavad Gita, as it is. By His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Verses and Translations. Chapter 2. Contents of the Gita summarized. Text 1. Sanjaya Uvacha Tam tata kripaya vishtam ashru purna kulekshanam visidantam idam vakyam uvacha Madhusudana. Sanjaya said, seeing Arjuna full of compassion and very sorrowful, his eyes brimming with tears, Madhusudana, Krishna, spoke the following words. Text 2. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Kutas tva kasmalamidam vishame samupastitam anarya justam asvargyam akirtikaram Arjuna. The Supreme Person Bhagavan said, my dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the progressive values of life. They do not lead to higher planets, but to infamy. Text 3. Klaibyam mas ma gama parta naitad tvayu papadyate shudram hridaya durlabhyan chakvo tishta parantapa. O son of Pritha, do not yield to this degrading impotence. It does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart and arise, O chastiser of the enemy. Text 4. Arjuna Uvacha Katam Bhishma Maham Sankhye Dronam Cha Madhusudana Ishu Bi Pratiyotsyami Pujaranav Arasudana. Arjuna said, O killer of Madhu, Krishna, how can I counteract with arrows in battle men like Bhishma and Drona who are worthy of my worship? Text 5. Garun ahatvahi mahanubhavan shreyo bhuktam bhaiksham apiha loke hadvarta kamams tu garun ihaiva bunjiya bhogan rudir pradigdan. It is better to live in this world by begging than to live at the cost of the lives of great souls who are my teachers. Even though they are avaricious, they are nonetheless superiors. If they are killed, our spoils will be tainted with blood. Text 6. Na chaitad vidma karayan nagariyo yadva jayema yadiva no jayayu yan eva hatvana jijivi shamas te vastita pramuke tatarashtra. Nor do we know which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. The sons of Dhritarashtra, whom if we killed we should not care to live, are now standing before us on this battlefield. Text 7. Karpanya doso bahata svabhava Prachami tvam dharma samudacheta yatshreyan shan nichitam bruhitan me sisyasteham sarimam tvam prapanam. Now, I am confused about my duty. I've lost all composure because of weakness. In this condition, I'm asking you to tell me clearly what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. Text 8. Nahi prapasyami mamapa nudyad yat chokam uchoshan indriyanam apapya rumava asapatnam ridham rajam saranam api chadi patyam. I can find no means to drive away this grief which is drying up my senses. I will not be able to destroy it even if I win an unrivaled kingdom on the earth, with sovereignty like the demigods in heaven. Text 9. Sanjaya Vacha Evam Uktva Rishikesham Gurukesha Parantapa Na Yojya Iti Govindam Uktva Tushnim Babhavuha. Sanjaya said, having spoken thus, Arjuna, chastiser of enemies, told Krishna, Govinda, I shall not fight, and fell silent. Text 10. Tamuvacha Rishikesha Prahasan Iva Bharata Sanayor Ubayor Majye Vishidantam Idam Vacha. O descendant of Bharata, at that time Krishna, smiling, in the midst of both the armies, spoke the following words to the grief-stricken Arjuna. Text 11. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Asochan an vasochas tvam pragna vadams chabasase gatasun agatasam cha nanu sochanti pandita. The Blessed Lord said, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor the dead. Text 12. Na tu evaham jatuna sam, na tvam neme janadipa, na chaiva na bhavishyama, sarvivayam atakparam. Never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. Text 13. Dehinos minyata dehe, komaram yovanam jara, tata dehantara praptir, diras tatra namuyati. As the embodied soul continually passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. The self-realized soul is not bewildered by such a change. Text 14. Matra sparsastu kantaya sitosna sukadukada agamapayi no nityas tam titikshasva bharata. O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress, and their disappearance in due course, are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception, O skein of Bharat, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. Text 15. Yam hina viatat yantye purusham purusharshaba sama dukkha sukham dhiram so mitat vaya kalpate. O best among men, Arjuna, the person who is not disturbed by happiness and distress and is steady in both is certainly eligible for liberation. Text 16. Na sato vijite bhavo, na bhavo vijite sata, ubayor api driston tas, tvanayos tattvadarshibi. Those who are seers of the truth have concluded that of the non-existent there is no endurance, and of the existent there is no cessation. This seers have concluded by studying the nature of both. Text 17. Avinasi tu tadvidhi, yena sarvamidam tatam, vinasam avyayasyasya, na kaschit kartamarhati. No, that which pervades the entire body is indestructible. No one is able to destroy the imperishable soul. Text 18. Antavanta imedeha nityasyokta sararina anasino prameyasya tasmat yudyasva bharata. Only the material body of the indestructible, immeasurable, and eternal living entity is subject to destruction. Therefore, fight, O descendant of Bharata. Text 19. Ya enam vetihantaram, yas chainam manyateyatam, ubauto na vijanito, nayam hanti nahanyate. He who thinks that the living entity is the slayer, or that he is slain, does not understand. One who is in knowledge knows that the self slays not, nor is slain. Text 20. Najayate mriyate va kadachin, nayam bhutva bhavita va nabuya, ajo nitya shashvato yam parano, nahanyate hanyamane sarire. For the soul there is never birth nor death, nor, having once been, does he ever cease to be. He is unborn, eternal, ever-existing, undying, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. Text 21. Vida vinasinam nityam, ya enam ajamavyayam, katam sa purusha partha, kam gatayati hantikam. O Partha, how can a person who knows that the soul is indestructible, unborn, eternal, and immutable, kill anyone, or cause anyone to kill? Text 22. Vasamsi jnani yata vihaya, navani grinati naro parani, tata sarirani vihaya jnani, anyani samyati navani dehi. As a person puts on new garments, giving up old ones, similarly, the soul accepts new material bodies, giving up the old and useless ones. Text 23. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavaka, na chainam kledayantyapho, na soshayati maruta. The soul can never be cut into pieces by any weapon, nor can he be burned by fire, nor moistened by water, nor withered by the wind. Text 24. Achetyo yam adayo yam, akledyo shosha evacha, nitya sarva gatastanur, achalo yam sanatana. This individual soul is unbreakable and insoluble, and can be neither burnt nor dried. He is everlasting, all-pervading, unchangeable, immovable, and eternally the same. Text 25. Avyakto yam achincho yam, avikaryo yam uchite, tasmad evam viditvainam, nanu sochitam arhasi. It is said that the soul is invisible, inconceivable, immutable, and unchangeable. Knowing this, you should not grieve for the body. Text 26. Atachainam nityajatam, nityam va manyasemitam, tatapi tvam mahabaho, nainam sochitimarhasi. If, however, you think that the soul is perpetually born and always dies, still you have no reason to lament, O mighty armed. Text 27. Jitasya hi dhruvo mityur, dhruvam janma mitasya cha, tasmad apari haryete, na tvam sochitam arhasi. For one who has taken his birth, death is certain. For one who is dead, birth is certain. Therefore, In the unavoidable discharge of your duty, you should not lament. Text 28. Vyakta dini bhutani, vyakta madhyani bharata, avyakta nidhananyeva tatra ka paridevana. All created beings are unmanifest in their beginning, manifest in their interim state, and unmanifest again when they are annihilated. So, what need is there for lamentation? Text 29. Ascharyavat pasyati kaschidinam, ascharyavat vati tataiva chanya, ascharyavat chainam anyashranoti, shrudvapi enam veda naichaiva kaschit. Some look on the soul as amazing. Some describe him as amazing. And some hear of him as amazing, while others, even after hearing about him, cannot understand him at all. Text 30. Dehi nityam avadyoyam, dehe sarvasya bharata, tasmad sarvani bhutani, na tvam sochitamarhasi. O descendant of Bharata, he who dwells in the body is eternal and can never be slain. Therefore, you need not grieve for any creature. Text 31. Swadharmam api chaveksha na vikampitum arhasi dharmyad hi yudhat shreyonyat chatriyasya na vijite. Considering your specific duty as a Kshatriya, you should know that there is no better engagement for you than fighting on religious principles, and so there is no need for hesitation. Text 32. Yadrichaya chopapanam, svargadvaram apavritam, sukhina kshatriyaparta, labante yudham idrisam. O Partha, happy are the Kshatriyas to whom such fighting opportunities come unsought, opening for them the doors to the heavenly planets. Text 33. Atta chet tvam imam dharmyam, sangramam na karishyasi, tata swadharmam kirtim cha, hitva papam avapsyasi. If, however, you do not fight this religious war, then you will certainly incur sins for neglecting your duties, and thus lose your reputation as a fighter. Text 34. Akirtim chapi bhutani, kata yasyanti te vyayam, sambhavit tasya chakirtir, maranad atirichite. People will always speak of your infamy, and for one who has been honored, dishonor is worse than death. Text 35. Bayad ranad aparatam, mam syante tvam maharata, yesham cha tvam bahu mato, bhutva yasyasi lagavam. The great generals who have esteemed your name and fame will think that you have left the battlefield out of fear only, and thus they will consider you a coward. Text 36. Avacha vadamcha bahun, vadisyanti tavahita, nindatas tava samartyam, tato dukhataram nukim. Your enemies will describe you in many unkind words and scorn your ability. What could be more painful for you? Text 37. Hato va prapsyasi svargam, jitva va bokshase mahim, tasmad utishta kantaya, yudhaya krita nishchaya. O son of Kunti, either you'll be killed on the battlefield and attain the heavenly planets, or you will conquer and enjoy the earthly kingdom. Therefore, get up and fight with determination. Text 38. Sukha dukkhe same kriva, Laba labo jayo jayo. Tato yudhaya yujasva. Naivam papam avapsyasi. Do thou fight for the sake of fighting, without considering happiness or distress, loss or gain, victory or defeat, and by so doing you shall never incur sin. Text 39. Esha te bihita sankhye, buddhir yoge tvimam shrinu, buddhya yukto yayapata, karma bandham prahasyasi. Thus far, I have declared to you the analytical knowledge of Sankhya philosophy. Now, listen to the knowledge of yoga, whereby one works without fruit of result. O son of Pritha, when you act by such intelligence, you can free yourself from the bondage of works. Text 40. Nihabikrama nasosti, pratyavayona vijite, swapam apyasya dharmasya, trayate mahato vayat. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. Text 41. Vyavasayat mika buddhir, ekeha kurunandana, bahusaka hyanantascha, buddhayo vyavasayinam. Those who are on this path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is one. O beloved child of the Kurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many-branched. Text 42 through 43. Yam imam pushpitam vacham, pravadantya vipashicha, veda vada rataparta, nanyad astitivadina. Karmat mana svargarpara, janma karma palapadam, kriya vishesha bahulam, bhogaisvarya gatim prati. Men of small knowledge are very much attached to the flowery words of the Vedas, which recommend various fruitive activities for elevation to heavenly planets, resultant good birth, power, and so forth. Being desirous of sense gratification and opulent life, they say there is nothing more than this. Text 44. Bhogaisvarya prashaktanam, taya parita chetasam, vyavasayat mika buddhi, samadho na vidhiyate. In the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence, and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination of devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. Text 45. Trigunya visaya veda, nishtragunyo bhavarjuna, nurdvanvo nityasatvasto, niryoga shema atmavan. The Vedas mainly deal with the subject of the three modes of material nature. Rise above these modes, O Arjuna. Be transcendental to all of them. Be free from all dualities and from all anxieties for gain and safety, and be established in the self. Text 46. Yavan artha udapane, sarvata sampluto deke, tavan sarveshu vedeshu, brahmanasya vijanata. All purposes that are served by the small pond can at once be served by the great reservoirs of water. Similarly, all the purposes of the Vedas can be served to one who knows the purpose behind them. Text 47. Karman nivadikaraste, ma paleshu kadachana, ma karma palaheturbur, ma te sango svakarmani. You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself to be the cause of the results of your activities, and never be attached to not doing your duty. Text 48. Yoga sta kuru karmani, sangam chaktva dhananjaya, siddhya siddhyo samobhutva, samatvam yoga uchite. Be steadfast in yoga, O Arjuna. Perform your duty and abandon all attachment to success or failure. Such evenness of mind is called yoga. Text 49. Dhurena yavaram karma, buddhi yoga dhananjaya, buddho saranam anvicha, kripana palahetava. O Dhananjaya, rid yourself of all fruitive activities by devotional service, and surrender fully to that consciousness. Those who want to enjoy the fruits of their work are misers. Text 50. Buddhi yukto jahatiha, ube sukrite dukrite, tasmat yogaya yujasva, yoga karmashu kaushalam. A man engaged in devotional service rids himself of both good and bad actions even in this life. Therefore, strive for yoga, O Arjuna, which is the art of all work. Text 51. Karmajam buddhi yukta hi, palam chakva manishina, janma bandha vinirmukta, padam gachant yanamayam. The wise, engaged in devotional service, take refuge in the Lord, and free themselves from the cycle of birth and death by renouncing the fruits of action in the material world. In this way, they can attain that state beyond all miseries. Text 52. Yada te moha kalilam, buddhir yati tarisyati, tada gantas univedam, shrotavyasya shrutasyacha. When your intelligence has passed out of the dense forest of delusion, you shall become indifferent to all that has been heard and all that is to be heard. Text 53. Shruti viprati panate, yada stat yasi nischala, samad achala buddhis, tada yogam avapsyasi. When your mind is no longer disturbed by the flowery language of the Vedas, and when it remains fixed in the trance of self-realization, then you will have attained the divine consciousness. Text 54. Arjuna Uvacha. Stita pragnasya kabasa, samadhi stasya kesava, stita di kim prabhasheta, kim ashita varjeta kim. Arjuna said, what are the symptoms of one whose consciousness is thus merged in transcendence? How does he speak? What is his language? How does he sit? How does he walk? Text 55. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Prajahati yada kaman, sarvan partha mamogatan, atman yevatmana tushta, stita pragnas tad uchate. The Blessed Lord said, O Partha, when a man gives up all varieties of sense desire, which arise from mental concoction, and when his mind finds satisfaction in the self alone, then he is said to be in pure transcendental consciousness. Text 56. Dukesh vanud vignamana, sukeshu vigatas briha, vita raga baya kroda, stitadir munir uchate. One who is not disturbed in spite of the threefold miseries, who is not elated when there's happiness, and who is free from attachment, fear, and anger, is called a sage of steady mind. Text 57. Ya sarvat ranabhisne has tat tat prapya subhashubham nabinan dati na dveshti tasya pragna pratishtata. He who is without attachment, who does not rejoice when he obtains good, nor lament when he obtains evil, is firmly fixed in perfect knowledge. Text 58. Yada samharate chayam kurmon ganiva sarvasa indriyan indriyartebhyas tasya pragna pratishtata. One who is able to withdraw his senses from sense objects, as the tortoise draws his limbs within the shell, is to be understood as truly situated in knowledge. Text 59. Visaya vinivartante niraharasya dehina rasa varjam rasok yasya param drisva nivartate. The embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, though the taste for sense objects remains. But ceasing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness. Text 60. Yatato yapikanteya purushashya vipasicha indriyani pramatini haranti prabhasammana. The senses are so strong and impetuous, O Arjuna, that they forcibly carry away the mind even of a man of discrimination who is endeavoring to control them. Text 61. Tani sarvani samyamya yukta ashita matpara vase hiyas yandriyani tasya pragna pratishtita. One who restrains his senses and fixes his consciousness upon me is known as a man of steady intelligence. Text 62. Jayato vishayan pumsa sangas teshu pajayate sangat sanjayate kama kamat krodo pajayate. While contemplating the objects of the senses, a person develops attachment for them, and from such attachment, lust develops, and from lust, anger arises. Text 63. Krodat bhavati samoha, samohat smriti vibrama, smriti brahmsad buddhi naso, buddhi nasat pranasyati. From anger, delusion arises, and from delusion, bewilderment of memory. When memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost, and when intelligence is lost, one falls down again into the material pool. Text 64. Raja dvesha vimuktaistu visayan indriyaischaran atma vasyayar videyatma prasadam adigachati. One who can control his senses by practicing the regulated principles of freedom can obtain the complete mercy of the Lord and thus become free from all attachment and aversion. Text 65. Prasade sarva dukhanam hanir asyo pajayate prashano chetaso yashu buddhi parya vatishtate. For one who is so situated in divine consciousness, the threefold miseries of material existence exist no longer. In such a happy state, one's intelligence soon becomes steady. Text 66. Nasti buddhir ayuktasya, na cha yuktasya bhavana, na cha bhavishyata shantir, ashantasya kuta sukam. One who is not in transcendental consciousness can have neither a controlled mind nor steady intelligence, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be any happiness without peace? Text 67. Indriyanam hi charatam yanmano no vidhiyate tadasya harti pragnam vayurnavam ivambasi. As a boat on the water is swept away by a strong wind, even one of the senses on which the mind focuses can carry away a man's intelligence. Text 68. Tasmad yasya mahabaho nigrihitani sarvisha indriya nindriyartebhyas tasya pragna pratishtita. Therefore, O mighty arm, one whose senses are restrained from their objects is certainly of steady intelligence. Text 69. Ya nisha sarvabhutanam tasyam jagarti samyami yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pasyato mune. What is night for all beings is the time of awakening for the self-controlled, and the time of awakening for all beings is night for the introspective sage. Text 70. Apuryamanam achala pratishtam samudram apa pravishanti yadvat tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve shashantim apnoti nakama kami. A person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires that enter like rivers into the ocean, which is ever being filled but is always still, can alone achieve peace, and not the man who strives to satisfy such desires. Text 71. Vihaya kamanya sarvan pumam charati nishpriha nirmamo nirahankaran shashantim adhigachati. A person who has given up all desires for sense gratification, who lives free from desires, who has given up all sense of proprietorship and is devoid of false ego, he alone can attain real peace. Text 72. Esha brahmi stiti partha nainam prapya vimuyati stitvasyam antakale pi brahma nirvanam richati. That is the way of the spiritual and godly life, after attaining which a man is not bewildered. Being so situated, even at the hour of death, one can enter into the kingdom of God.